5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living. This week's habit is the secret to happiness. Hello, this is Dr. Brian Morris, and welcome to 5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living, where you will learn the tools to practice a healthy lifestyle 5 minutes at a time. Life has become very complicated with a seemingly endless amount of health information at our fingertips. How do you know what to believe and what not to believe? In this podcast, I sort through the maze of information and distill it into easy-to-digest, time-tested, evidence-based practical strategies for optimal health. I've been practicing internal medicine for 20 years. I went to medical school at Johns Hopkins, I trained at Yale, and I previously held a teaching position at Harvard Medical School. I currently practice medicine and hold a teaching appointment at UCLA Medical School here in Los Angeles, where I teach these tools and these strategies to medical students, house staff, doctors, and of course, to my patients. Before we get to this week's habit, I'd like to remind you that the information contained in this podcast and at 5minutemd.com is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used to diagnose, treat, or prevent any health condition or illness. This information may not apply to a specific health situation and is not a substitute for medical care by a qualified, licensed, board-certified healthcare professional. Please consult with your healthcare provider before implementing any of the ideas in this podcast or making any changes in your healthcare regimen. This week's habit is the secret to happiness. We are all grateful to some extent, right? We appreciate a beautiful work of art. We appreciate a great piece of music. We appreciate a great performance in a sporting event. But there's more to gratitude than just that. As a society, we've come to expect more and more from life. And one of the end results of higher expectations is that we've become less grateful, less appreciative of all that is wonderful in life. What exactly is gratitude and why is it so important? Gratitude occurs when we focus on all the wonderful things that happen to each of us every day. We do this rather than think about everything that goes wrong during that same day. We choose to focus and appreciate what goes well. And we try to appreciate and find gratitude even in some of the darker moments. When we're standing in line in a grocery store and the person in front of us is struggling to find his credit card and is taking a long time, we try not to get impatient and frustrated, and rather we focus on the fact that we are fortunate enough to be able to afford the food that we're about to buy. We focus on the fact that we're breathing right now. We focus on the fact that our heart is beating moment after moment. We can choose at any time to focus on the blessings in life or the curses in life. This is something that many of us struggle with, as some of us have a tendency to focus on what's wrong rather than what's right. Sometimes we focus on the glass being half empty rather than half full. If your car looks perfect in every way except there's one tiny scratch on the driver's side door, do you focus on that scratch or do you focus on the rest of the car which looks beautiful? And if we do focus on these negatives, why is that a problem? In fact, some people will argue that we should focus on the negatives sometimes. How else can we improve things? Shouldn't we focus on what's wrong in life so that we can identify problems and improve the world? Well, yes, we don't want to ignore problems, but we don't want to make those our focus. I'm not saying to ignore these problems, but what I am saying is that we should focus our attention on what's great in life and be grateful for the blessings that come our way every day. And remember something very, very important. Gratitude is often discussed as a virtue, something that's good for your soul. That may be true, but I look at gratitude as being something totally different than that. I look at it as being something that is good for our physical and emotional health. One of my favorite studies of all time was a UC Davis study where patients were instructed to write down the 5 best things that happened to them every day, while a second group was instructed to write down the 5 worst things that happened every day. This study went on for 10 weeks, and after the study concluded, the researchers found that the first group, they called them the gratitude group, the group that was instructed to focus on the best things in life, they found that that group was happier, had fewer health complaints, and even slept better. Fascinating, huh? Yes, focusing on the positive things in life is actually good for our health. In this study, a short exercise when the patients wrote down 5 good things that happened every day helped to reinforce their appreciation and gratitude. And this translated to improved happiness and improved health. And again, this is not to say that we should ignore our problems that we need to address. We do need to deal with these problems, but they shouldn't be our main focus. Our main focus should be to appreciate and be grateful for all the good things that are happening to us all the time. Try it. It really works. Our homework for this week, start a gratitude practice. My 2 favorite types of gratitude practices are, number 1, keeping a daily gratitude journal, or number 2, making a weekly gratitude phone call or visit. The gratitude journal is sort of what I discussed a few minutes ago. Each day, make a list of the 5 best things that happened to you that day. The second type of gratitude practice is the gratitude call or visit, and this is also really helpful. Once a week, think of someone who you want to thank for something, but for whatever reason you haven't done that before. Call that person, or even better, visit them and tell them how thankful you are. This could be a friend, it could be a relative, it could be a business associate or contact. This could be a person from the past, such as one of your former teachers. This is a life-changing practice for those who give it a chance. And by the way, what is the human emotion that results from practicing gratitude? I alluded to this before, but gratitude is the secret to happiness. What is happiness? Many books on happiness don't even try to address the definition of happiness, but let me give it a stab. Happiness is the state of mind that results from experiencing life with appreciation and gratitude. Again, happiness is the state of mind that results from experiencing life with appreciation and gratitude. When you think about this, it makes sense. We're happy when we are appreciating what's going on in our lives. When we resist what's going on in our lives, we tend to be unhappy. Take a moment to think about this and see if it makes sense to you. And remember to practice gratitude every day. Make it a part of your life and the lives that you touch. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think of this week's habit for healthy living. Post your comments and your experiences on the 5 Minute MD Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Brian Morris MD, and visit us anytime on our website, 5minutemd.com. Let your friends and your family and your colleagues know about this podcast, and make sure that you are subscribed on iTunes. When you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, you will receive new podcast episodes as soon as they are posted. Also, in the next few months, we will be posting bonus podcast episodes at 5minutemd.com, including special podcast episodes not available on iTunes. And if you're finding the information on this podcast helpful, we would really appreciate it if you would take a moment and stop by iTunes and leave us a review. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to make today count. I will see you at the next 5.